When we want to attract people around us, it's because we want to create a movement. We want to start getting a thought out there, because that's why personal branding and thought leadership goes so well hand in hand. Can we even be a thought leader if we don't have a strong personal brand?
If you can teach what you do, one, it opens up a whole nother income stream for you, which a lot of people don't realize. But if you're in any sort of artisan craft, or even service-based industry, when you can teach others what you do, you can, one, it sets you up as an expert in what you do. I think people forget that as well. But also it gives you a whole nother income stream.
It's like the engine, right? If you can put something in consistently, what you're putting in, and know what you're going to get out, that's how your system really supports you.
All the things you do through creating your strategy and then telling your stories and then using your social networks and then speaking raise your profile, which naturally helps you to scale. Because if you're doing all those things effectively, you should have more followers, you should have more opportunities, you should have more customers and clients, more partnership opportunities. You should be going to more events, you should be speaking at more events. It should start, the engine should be moving for you. I think there's a lot of misconceptions around personal branding, and people get stuck in what it is and think they need to be an influencer, right? And it's not that. It's not about trying to influence other people. It's about creating a way to attract the ideal people to you, whatever those ideal people are. I think that's the difference. Like people are trying to, like influencers try to sell things, push things, and so often other people's things, whereas a personal brand is about just sort of letting people know what mission you're on and what you're doing and trying to attract other people to join you. You agree with that? Am I
I like that. I think that's a great distinction. And I like to think of it as creating a movement too.
mm,
When we want to attract people around us, it's because we want to create a movement. We want to start getting a thought out there, because that's why personal branding and thought leadership goes so well hand in hand. Can we even be a thought leader if we don't have a strong personal brand?
mm.
And is it true that once you have a personal brand, then you actually are a thought leader, whether you want to own that title or not?
Yeah, it's true. And it doesn't even have to be within like a big space or on a big platform. It's just within your niche, within what matters to you, right? Because often I know, even me, I've been afraid to step out on that big stage and share a big message for a long time. But once you just realize you can just help one person or talk to one person or just share, within what you're passionate about, what you care about, because that's what founders, like why founders find their business, why entrepreneurs start. There's either a need that you find and figure out and you can help other people with because you've helped yourself, or you create the thing that you needed back in the day, or you just see a really good gap in the market and you go all in on it, right? But you can't sell a secret. So you have to promote it somehow. And so many people just want to hide behind a brand. They want to create a brand, a pretty logo, some assets, collateral materials. I see this all the time as a designer. Everyone just jumps right in and wants all the pretty stuff, the business cards, all the thing, the website. And all this stuff is important. I mean, marketing is super important because you can't sell a secret. So you need to market your business. But the thing that they leave for last is themselves. And a lot of them don't even want to put a picture of themselves on their website. It's mind boggling to me now seeing things from the other side that people don't realize the most important thing is to put yourself first, is to share you and your mission and why you're doing it first, because we connect with people. We buy from people. We want to support people.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many examples and real life stories of entrepreneurs who've been super successful without ever even having a website.
Mm.
And I don't say that to say we don't need a website. Yes, as you said, marketing's important. Yet, is it the one key to success? I think going back on what you've said is it's about relationships. It's about people buying from you, not buying from your business. And so imagine you start a business and you start networking and you share from the heart with passion and purpose what you're doing. And then, yeah, perhaps someone might say, "Oh, what's your website? I'll look it up."
Mhm.
Okay, awkward silence, but it's all right. You keep going, right? Just imagine that. And you say, look, don't have that website yet, but I do have, a business card. Why don't we go for a coffee?
Yeah.
Even without the business card. Let's just go for a coffee. I'll tell you more about it and answer all your questions. This is real life person to person business, right? And you start your business with your first client. So, and yes, it's not the traditional conventional way, and we're not by any stretch saying that's how you should do it. But I think it's a great example just to show that we can be successful without all the glitz and glamour
Yeah.
and without all the marketing materials because the success is actually driven from here, from ourselves,
Yeah.
from loving what we're doing. And you said it earlier, impact,
Mm.
being impact focused
Mm.
and knowing that what we do really does make a difference. It is solving someone's problem. It is releasing them from pain. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. I think digging into what your ideal client or customer's pain points are and then expressing that through what you do can really help to connect people as well on your mission. When you fully understand and can show that you can understand what someone's going through and how you have a solution for that problem, like your whatever solution sells itself. But it takes you as the founder to explain that. And that's what people often forget. They want to try to explain it through marketing, and you can spend hours and money and tons of money on marketing and it never land. Or you can go like my son is a business and vendor markets is one of his main sources of selling. He also has a fully functioning e-commerce website. But when he's in person, in front of people, having conversations, and they say things like, "Oh, I saw you in the newspaper. Oh, I followed you at the last market. Oh, I bought a notebook for my mom." And he has all these relationship based interactions over and over regularly. It builds his business and reputation so well. It's just so smart and simple, but he's made so many connections. Until him, people know him now. He has no idea who they are, but they know him. They've seen him. They've followed him. He's just been out there and he's been the face of his business. And it has made all the difference.
Of course it has, and the story behind it. People love to
Mm,
know the story, and that's why we incorporate story as one of our 6S steps to building your personal brand. And
yeah.
Nico is a perfect example of that. I mean, he every time he's at the market, I know he's just sharing his story and why he started and why he loves doing it. And I know he demonstrates his craft to different groups and so forth. So all of that is a part of his personal brand and it's beautiful.
Yeah, we actually had two markets this weekend, so it's really fresh. But every time he used to start with a big long speech, and now his pitch is down to like a good 30 seconds, which is so awesome to like sit back and watch him. But he has different stories for different people depending on how they approach, what they ask. Some people want to know the process, so he talks about the whole process of how he creates things. Other times they want to know like, wait, you're the artist? They're looking at him. He's 17, right? And they're like looking at him like, you're the artist? Like, yeah, I started this business 4 years ago and I was just doing paintings and and then people are like, wow, that's incredible. You're so young. And so they're interested in that side of the story. Others want to know, well, how do you turn a painting into a notebook or into a phone case? So they want to know the technical process. So it's amazing. And he's learned to just shift into all these different ways of communicating. And then he's actually using that in his marketing too. So the lessons, the learning by being out there, being the face of his business, pitching his business regularly to new people all the time is building him a following. It's building him, some honestly brand ambassadors at this point. People are talking about him and it's helping him like expand his business in a sustainable way too, because I think that's the thing. Often we go out really hard and we try to like sell everything and promote everything. And he's just been building layer by layer, slowly by slowly, adding new things, growing his business, doing marketing research, asking people what they want, seeing what's working and what's not going too far deep into something that he isn't sure is going to work. And it's just really smart, gradual process. But building his personal brand has been helping him with all of that because people want to talk to him, they want to know him. Even if they have no intention of buying, they want to come over and chat with him. And I think that's, incredible too, because those same people might share his posts that he puts on Instagram, for example.
Of course they
Yeah.
will. Yeah, they'll definitely be following him and wanting to share his story. And so I'm curious about this. So we have 6S steps, 6S system, which is strategy, storytelling, social, speaking, systems, and scale. So if we were to take Nico's example through this wheel, shall we do this? So
Sure.
okay, so he had a strategy clearly because he went through a whole pitch fest and he won big money to, as a
Mhm.
grant because he was so remarkable. So there was strategy in that of where he wanted to take his business, his vision, and so forth. The storytelling I'm hearing happens at the markets. Any other examples that you can think of? Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, he shared it, yeah, on his website, social media. Absolutely. He shares his story all over his marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he does in person workshops and so forth, which is
Mm.
part storytelling, part speaking. So we'll get to that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and socials. He's a
Yeah.
master at that.
Yeah, and he wanted to outsource his socials, and I've encouraged him to learn as much as he can because he is so young, and just learn as much as he can about social media, what's going to work and what's not. And he has, by experimenting, by testing things out, by sharing things. He's figuring out what's working or not, and what's going viral, and what's really landing. And yeah, it's amazing. And now that he has an e-commerce site, he can send all of his marketing straight to that, which really works as well. So yeah,
Mm,
social's been a big part of it, and networking, and doing and getting involved in communities too, like entrepreneurial communities where he's working with other entrepreneurs and learning from other entrepreneurs helps tremendously as well. That
mm.
networking part is social as well, as not just when we say socials, we don't just mean social media. We mean, how do you socially network, right? Social media is a networking platform, but so is being in person, going to events and being around, in entrepreneurial communities so that you are having those high level discussions with people.
Yeah, it's about extending your reach in the community and connecting with new communities that you wouldn't otherwise. And so, yeah, I mean, that expands your potential audience. And as that audience starts to know, like, and trust you, or just love you because you're building your personal brand so well, then they will very much become clients as well. So after socials is speaking, so he does, as we said, at the markets, but also he's taught his craft to other youngsters, which is pretty cool. That's a speaking stage and platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he even taught teachers at his school. He did a workshop for teachers before school started. It was absolutely amazing to watch this young man be able to have a full-on conversation and be teaching the process, but also the relationships, building the relationships and making sure everybody was having a good time. There's such in that, if you can teach what you do, one, it opens up a whole nother income stream for you, which a lot of people don't realize. But if you're in any sort of artisan craft, or even service-based industry, when you can teach others what you do, you can, one, it sets you up as an expert in what you do. I think people forget that as well. But also it gives you a whole nother income stream because people often want to learn the thing. And we can sometimes think, if I do that, then other people are going to copy me. If you're teaching what you do, you're at an expert level of what you do, and you're already so far ahead. Don't think that teaching it is going to create your own competition, because
Yeah.
it's not. You're
You
you're
kind of want
already
people to
far
copy
ahead.
you, don't you, at that stage?
I think it helps. If you still
Yeah,
land as the expert, the one they want to come to learn from, that won't change. That will just keep growing.
for
Yeah.
sure. For sure. And then we talk about systems and scale. Anything that comes to mind specifically with systems?
I think he's definitely in this phase. Like he's sort of mastered the other ones. Obviously, we always go back to strategy, but he's excellent at storytelling, excellent at growing at the socials, getting better every day, and consistent with it, which makes a big difference. Speaking, he's just beyond his years for that. But he's at the stage of working out systems, and that is one of the hardest stages for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in the early stages in those first 5 years. I think we're all figuring things out and still seeing what's working and what's not. But if you're about 5 years into your business, and you don't have systems, now's the time. Like, now's the time to be creating those SOPs and creating those systems that work for your business. He definitely has some. He's very good at the back end, and he's obviously he does his own finances and his own bookkeeping, but he also keeps track of every vendor market, how much it cost, what he sold, every single item he sold, what's working well, so he can start to see trends. He can start to see, different markets, which ones were the most profitable for him, because some had more sales but were more expensive to attend. So working all those things out, but having that clarity, his system is really right now just figuring out clarity. He's going to get better in all the other ones. He's got systems for his socials, but he's definitely, as a young entrepreneur, he's working these things out and
Mm.
figuring it out.
Well, it sounds
And
like
then
systems in place. Definitely, if he's
mm,
already tracking things, anytime we
mm,
track what we're doing, we track our behavior and activity so that we can use that data to make better decisions. That's a system.
yeah,
So,
an important one.
yeah.
Yeah. In marketing, I mean, analytics are everything in marketing.
Mm.
So all of your activity is either, most of it is either sales or marketing. And these are the two things you really, really want to track in business,
Mm. And
so
just
then
a reminder, systems are the things that we can do. It's like the engine, right? If you can put something in consistently, what you're putting in, and know what you're going to get out, that's how your system really supports you. So, yeah, it takes some experimenting, some trial and error. And then when you find that magic recipe, so to speak, then you've got it just to keep amplifying. Yeah.
Yeah, and finding the tools that help make the system smoother, faster, easier,
Mm.
right? Finding the right AI tools, or finding the right outsourcing paths. What do you need in your business? At some point, we all need to bring others on to help us in business, whether that be the VA or a social media manager or bookkeeper. But you've got to create the system for that person first. Because outsourcing without a system in place, you're relying on them to create the system, and maybe they are the right person or maybe they're not. And that can really derail a business if the systems don't work. So having your own system in place that you then share when you outsource it can be really valuable for both parties,
Mm.
and probably save you money, time, energy, stress, all the things we need to save. Yeah.
Mm. And you were going to share about scaling?
Yeah, because scaling is sort of the last piece of the puzzle for all entrepreneurs, because none of us stay in the same place forever, right? We all want to grow. So, where do we want to scale? How do we want to scale? What does that look like? That's something it's up to each, individual to figure out,
I feel
and figuring out how. Yeah.
I feel like it comes out of strategy. I feel like there's a point where
Mm,
if you're not sure when you're going to scale, it's time to go back to strategy. Check in where you're at in the business. Have a look at your 3 to 5 year vision and then decide, what does a scale look like? Are we talking massive expansion where we're going to build a team? Are we talking just the next level? Is that, what resources do you need to bring in for scaling? Is it that you want to learn something new in order to do it? Is
mm.
it you just need one more team member or a virtual assistant? Is it automating things that you've been doing manually? Like the systems and the scale and the strategy all blend in so well together.
Well, yeah, because it's all the same thing, right? The whole system, all the things you do through creating your strategy and then telling your stories and then using your social networks and then speaking, raise your profile, which naturally helps you to scale. Because if you're doing all those things effectively, you should have more followers, you should have more opportunities, you should have more customers and clients, more partnership opportunities. You should be going to more events. You should be speaking at more events. It should start, the engine should be moving for you. So scaling should happen naturally at that point. If you've done everything well, and then this is where it's almost like a reflection point, right? Scaling is almost a reflection of like, okay, let's see what has worked, what hasn't. How am I scaling? Am I scaling? Am I where I expected to be after going through this system? And then if not, what needs to change? So that's where we turn right back after scaling into strategy.
Yeah.
Because if you've scaled to the place where maybe you've met those goals, or maybe you've even exceeded your goals from your initial strategy. So then, okay, the strategy needs to be updated. because the same strategy that got you here isn't going to get you there, right? So if we're thinking, okay, what's next? Next level, scaling is like moving to the next level. So then strategy needs to improve. Or you get to the scale point and you're not scaling. You're not where you want to be. Your numbers aren't there. You haven't met your targets. Your objectives aren't there. And because things have gone wrong in the system, now it's your time to reflect on that and go, okay, so what needs to adjust? Maybe strategy needs to change. Maybe you need to pivot. Maybe the economy has shifted. Maybe your target market was off.
Yeah, so many things, so many factors. And I'd just love to share. And I guess for those listening to this great conversation, I always like to just preface that it's not a perfect system. Now, it's a perfect system in that it can work, but we don't expect perfection out of it, right? We're setting ourselves up to fail if we are expecting to do this perfectly, or if we feel there's a right way and a wrong way. So, I love to just have that caveat in there because we can beat ourselves up so easily and have this inner critic saying all the things when really there is no right and wrong way. It's just a big trial and error. It's a game. Yes, there's certainly best practice. There's things that we can help you with to optimize your efforts to take the shortest route to find the confidence and the tools that you need to achieve all these things. But even then, it's up to you and you'll do it your own unique way.
Yeah. And to be a resilient entrepreneur, and you need resilience to be an entrepreneur, you have to find ways to embrace all those things you just said: the mistakes, the failures, the challenges, the money losses, the time losses, all the things that go wrong, the things that just derail, like seek to derail you. When you can embrace all of that as lessons learned and grow from that, and then seek out what you need to keep going and keep leveling, whether that be, we talk about this all the time, the value of coaches, the value of mentorship, the value of community, right? So that we're not out here always trying to figure it out on your own. Surround yourself with the people that help you to continue to go forth and level up and give you the ideas, because we don't know everything and we don't know what we don't know, right? And
Bingo.
being around a community of other entrepreneurs that are also there figuring it out, they might be a step ahead of you in bookkeeping, but you're a step ahead of them in marketing. They may be a step ahead in partnerships, but you're still figuring out your profile. Like, it's okay. And it's great when you pull together as a community and start to give each other that support. Just also just knowing you're not alone. God, I was a solo entrepreneur for a long time, figuring it out. And hey, maybe we created this community because we needed it too, Vicky. Like, we created a community of awesome female entrepreneurs so we can have discussions in that space that female founders need, because we know that it's different than a lot of our male counterparts, because we come at business differently and we approach things differently and we have different needs for the lifestyle we want to create.
Yeah.
So we want to have those deep, high level discussions and work through as we work through a system like this.
Yeah. I reckon you've just tapped on something. I reckon we could have a separate conversation around that women power, women building businesses, why it's important to have that focus, even in 2025, 26. So, yeah, maybe that's another conversation we can have.
Yeah, we need that one. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
So we'll do that one very soon,
Yeah.
because I
This,
love that conversation.
this has
It's
been
it's
good.
an important thing to discuss. Yeah, why it is different. Well, it is different, and it just is. It's true.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we've got to do it better. So
Mm.
awesome. This has been a great chat. I love it. And I'm really excited for Nico's future. And I'm so proud for him. And I know you're a proud mama too. It's just amazing to watch a young person shine that way and to build his personal brand the way you've described has just been, it feels organic. It didn't feel like he was trying to be an influencer at any stage. He was just doing the thing he loved, letting his passion shine and leaning into it and trying new things. And like you said, being resilient and expecting things not to work out. And I know between you and I, there was some big doozies in there, and he still pulled his socks up and kept going. And What a champ. What a champ. What a great example for all of us. So shout out to
Yeah.
Nico. Shout out to you as his mum. And yeah, let's share this. Keep sharing this system. Like, if anyone who's listening is interested to know more about the system, just be in touch with us, and we'll send you to the places where, in fact, we have a free webinar every month. You can jump in there, and we can share it all with you then.
Yeah, please. Yeah, definitely. Please come along, join us. We love these types of conversations, and we love the interactive element of our webinars. So come and have a chat. Come learn something. Come grow with us, and hopefully we'll see you all soon.